Well, hello, everyone. Welcome this week to the podcast. This week, I'm going to be perfectly frank, a little bit scary for me, doing it anyway. And I have a special prop here, actually, that's going to help with this, because this is the first story that I want to tell. So if you're watching right now, I'm holding up one of the things that's on my wall, and I look at it constantly. My wife had this idea for me to have it made because I was talking to her at one point. This was about 2 years ago now, where I was thinking that things that I had to create always needed to have a certain aspect of misery to them. And here's what I mean by that. Whenever I was creating a new course, or I was coming up with a new teaching webinar or a challenge or anything that I was doing, I would go like, okay, I got to go do that now. And like my whole mental attitude was about this. Now I have to go do a bunch of hard work that I'm not going to enjoy, which is so silly. But so many of us do this. Some of you are probably nodding your heads right now. Even if it's something that you originally wanted to do and you were doing it on purpose because you wanted to create something that didn't exist, or something you wanted to teach on, or wanted to help your team with something if you're a leader and you were excited about it at first because you know it needs to be done, sometimes you can put yourself in a mindset of drudgery, of, okay, now I have to do this thing that I'm dreading. And so I had this sign made. And for those of you that aren't watching this on YouTube right now, and you always can, you can go to our channel and watch any of these, because sometimes I refer to things visually, is all I do is have fun. Okay. Now, when I first said this out loud to a colleague and told them that I was going to have it printed and put on my wall, they thought that this meant something very, very different. In fact, they said, this was a very good friend who's very candid with me. I love her to death because of it. She's always that person that's that sounding board that will tell you when you're full of shit. So I appreciate her candor all the time. Her name is Marguerite. Marguerite, if you're listening, shout out. But all I do is have fun. She was like, I mean, is that kind of a little bit trite? You know, like all I do is have fun. Like it's all an enjoyable part of the journey, because life is 50-50, right? Even when you have a business breakthrough or you do something amazing in your business or your personal life, like it's not like all of your problems then go away. There's always challenges. There's always things that you have to deal with, that you have to do. So is all I do is have fun kind of pretending that the other stuff doesn't exist? And I thought, oh, no, that's not what I mean. And for those of you that maybe thought the same thing, that all I do is have fun, means that like it's just rainbows and unicorns coming out of my butt all the time. It's not what I mean at all. It's me heading myself off at the pass whenever I start to tell myself a story that I have to go and do this thing now, and I have to do it the way that I've done it before, or the way that other people do it. If I have something that I'm working on for a client, for a marketing campaign, or I'm making a video or something like that, what I do now, instead of going, okay, well, I have to do this, and then I have to do this, and then I have to do this, and thinking of all the things that's going to be hard to do in order to make that happen, what I do instead is I say, you know what? If I was in charge of all of this, and super secret squirrel, I am in charge of all of this. Even when you own your own business and you're an entrepreneur or you're a leader, you forget that you were the one in charge sometimes. Our brains can be tricky like that, and think that you still need permission. But what would be this task that you have to do? What is the most fun way to go about doing it? What is the most fun way that you would enjoy in order to do this thing, to get this result that you want to get? That's my question for you. You are in charge. You are the one that gets to decide how you go about doing something. So many times it's way, way better for me if I'm not enjoying something, if something has no longer become something that I get joy from and get a result from my clients. By the way, you can do that. Did you know that you can have fun doing your work while getting an even better result for your clients? Because when you are enjoying yourself, and that energy is what you bring to whatever task that you're doing or whatever you're creating, it is infused into the product, into the result that you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're a coach, doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur, a leader inside a corporation. If you are infusing your enthusiasm and energy and you are excited about what you're doing, it will catch on so much faster. People will absolutely feel that vibe, and it will help you to get the result you want faster. And then they will enjoy the journey that much more. Because think about what your own behavior. What do you do? If you are enjoying something, if you're getting the information, great. But we've all been in classes where we've had a teacher that no matter how interesting the subject or how much we thought we wanted to learn about something, whether it was high school or college or whatever you were doing, a course online that you were taking, that the subject matter you wanted to learn about, but the way that it was delivered was just, oh my gosh, kill me now. Because they were not bringing the energy, the fun to it that lights them up, their own passion. And conversely, I bet you can think of a program, of a course, of a teacher that you had, that even if the subject wasn't something that you were super pumped about, that just because that they brought that passion, that energy to it, that all they wanted to do is have fun and teach you this thing, that you ended up caring about it so much more. So you can infuse your own work with that. You can care about your own work that much more by deciding to have fun doing it. Just going, hey, if no one was telling me how to do this and I got to do it however I wanted to do, what is the most fun way for me to go about doing this? It'll bring me the most joy. A lot of times this will mean actually making it less complex. Like there's all these things that the experts say you're supposed to do, but actually I would just rather do this, this, and this. Instead of having 50 slides that I do for this webinar that I'm going to do and all of them being perfect like I've done in the past, what if I just turn on my camera and just start talking and then coaching people and asking questions and having them chat things in? What if I just made it super easy for myself? You might find that you have an even better connection with your audience there. And it's so much easier for you to do. It brings you so much more joy. You have to spend so much less time doing it. It's way less complex. That's just one example. So start to think about ways, if you have a brick and mortar business as well, what are ways that you could create an experience for your customers or create something new that is joyful for you and also gets them a great result? So that's the question, and that's the spirit that I wanted to bring to talking with you this week, because there's some kind of big things happening behind the scenes here at Storied Coaching. So I've been going through something lately where I've realized that I've gotten to a turning point in the courses and in the coaching that I do. Now, I have taught thousands of people now at some of the largest corporations in the world. I've been so lucky to get to jump to that level, to help them with their production and to help them with their selling, to help people that sell technology, that sell software and services, teaching them how to do what we do in production, how to look amazing on camera with great lighting and cameras and microphones and stage presence and camera presence, how to do that when they are talking with their customers so they can serve them at a higher level and meet their sales quota and be able to do all of that. And we've gotten a chance to do it for thousands of people between Microsoft and Meta and SAP and all of these mid-sized companies that are their partners as well. And it is so much fun, and I've had a great time doing it. And if you're listening, you're like, what's happening? Well, what's happening is I'm realizing that that's great, and those products are going to stay. They're still available. We're still going to do those for people, but it's not going to get all of my attention anymore. I've decided that my own mantra, what I just told you about, that all I do is have fun, is not happening right now in that area. And that's because I already created it. It exists. It was a lot more needed during the pandemic. And there are still people that are coming to me and wanting this, and we're still going to offer it. But I always want to be serving people for what they need now. And so many of us have gotten to a good base level of being able to get on camera, or at least are not afraid of it now, that our course will help them get to a whole different level. If they're an entrepreneur, if they want to have better camera presence and do better webinars and come up with their own story, like that's something that course will help do. But I know that there is something calling me to help other people right now. People that specifically have found themselves in this space where they may have been a reduction in force, RIF. That's one fun acronym that they use. So it means when you've been laid off or when you've gotten fired. And there's a lot of people, even if they haven't had that happen to them yet, that it's been a huge wake-up call for them of, wow, this track that I was on, that I thought I just wanted to be on, isn't as stable as I thought it was. And okay, maybe that's okay. It never was. Those were just my thoughts about it. I thought it was stable. Turns out it's not. They can get rid of me at any time. What am I doing if I'm in that position to be able to make sure that I'm doing what I really want to do and that I'm going to be safe and I can provide for my family or for myself? So I want to help people that want to be proactive about their own entrepreneur story and journey and where they want to go. I want to help all of you out there that are like, man, I need a solid plan B and I want to start working on it in the background right now while I still have a job. Or if I've been laid off, I need to do it right now. I don't have time to wait. I don't have time for bullshit. I need someone that has been through this before and can show me the best and fastest and most lucrative way in order to go on my own entrepreneurial journey and to write my story. And we're going to help with so much of that. I'm so excited to start helping people with this. And I am not going to jump straight to group like I have in the past. So with my corporate clients for the courses that we already have, most of the time we're teaching 15, 20 people at a time, multiple courses happening all over the world at the same time. We're training hundreds of people a week sometimes. This is going to be much smaller. This is going to be a much more hands-on boutique experience where I want to get on and help people individually. And so this is going to be something that I help people with starting out one-on-one. And it probably won't always be this way. You probably won't always, like if any of my courses in the past have been any indication, lots of people are going to want to do it. And that's wonderful. I want to help as many people as possible. But at some point, we'll probably have to move to group. But I don't want to start there. I want to start helping individual entrepreneurs or people that want to start writing their own entrepreneurial story intentionally, want to get out of fear, out of scarcity, and want to have a game plan, a blueprint for themselves to follow in order to get out from under having to work for somebody else. If you have thought to yourself, I don't always want to work for somebody else. I want to do this myself, but I feel stuck. I feel like I'm going to have to figure this out somehow, and I don't know the best way to go about it. And so what ends up happening? Usually, absolutely nothing. And that's the problem. We stay stuck because we have all kinds of excuses of things of why we're not doing things. I've done the same thing in my life. And so I want to help other people that are entrepreneurs and know they are already, or that secretly have a longing to do it, want to move away from the corporate space, want to start their own thing, but don't feel like they have anyone in their corner to help them do it. And I'm going to help those people. If you are one of those people and you want to do it, I promise in the next several episodes, I'm going to have some more information for you so that you can sign up for a waiting list and you can start hearing about when we start having some of these limited spaces come open. I've already started talking with a few people, and I'm starting to work with them individually right now to make sure it's the best fit, to make sure that it makes the most sense, to get feedback on it and make sure that we're providing all the things. And here's something else that I've decided this morning that I'm going to do as well, is I'm actually going to allow a lot of the content from our courses that usually are thousands of dollars and only the large corporations have gotten in the past. We're going to unlock those for the people that are working with me one-on-one. Because so many of those on-camera skills and things like that, if they are an online entrepreneur or you want to be one, those on-camera skills are valuable to have. And so I want you to have access to that content, even if it's not your main priority first at the first jump. So that is how I am reinterpreting all I do is have fun. Because I realized, you know what? It was fun creating those things for those corporations. We're going to have my coaches still delivering that stuff. But as far as where I'm going and the need that I see for what a lot of you are talking about, that a lot of you have this fear that you're not going to be able to figure out what to do if you're part of that next wave of layoffs, or if you find yourself all of a sudden at an all hands Zoom call that's put on your calendar with 15 minutes notice. And you get on and you find out that you and 300 other people, 10,000 other people are being let go. And you're like, what the fuck am I going to do now? this is going to be that blueprint to help you get going on that thing that you have been thinking about and that you knew you wanted to do and that you wanted to bring into the world, but you need a path in order to get there and someone in your corner to help you, coach you through it, that has started multiple businesses, that knows how to set up online marketing funnels, that knows how to put together a great pitch and how to pull it out of you, that knows how to help you get sales, that knows how to help you create, and that can coach you through all the mental drama that you're going to have as you're going through that. So that's where I'm going. So this is a bit of a true confessional today. A bit of, hey, I have to refigure things out as well. And so if you are one of these people that's thinking about, hey, I would love to do this, but it's kind of scary, that's exactly, I am literally doing it for you right now. It's a little bit scary for me too. I have made millions of dollars just doing the courses that I offer to corporations. It's great, but it's not how I'm going to grow. And I'm feeling the pull to help other people get to a place where they don't have to be reliant on corporations, where they don't have to be reliant to being another number that just randomly gets riffed, that randomly gets a layoff notice, an invitation to a Zoom call where they say, I'm sorry, but you've been made redundant. So that's where I'm going, my friends. I think that I'm going to be setting up a challenge in order to help facilitate this. It's going to be in the next several weeks, so be on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, as you're working, as you're creating, as you're getting results for yourself and for your teams, please remember, it is always within your power to decide to go about it the most fun way possible for you. And that when you do that, when you connect with that joy, you will actually get a better result for you and the people you're creating for. All right, my friends, have a fantastic week, and I will talk to you soon.